Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Got here with a coach in the Christmas hat.
And I'm here with the vet in his Christmas hat. Look at this.
Man, I think barely fits. Man, my head's too big.
Look at this.
Yeah, we'll be fighting with those things there. Too much time alone. That's what the deal is there. Oh, gosh.
Well, we need a break.
Yes. So, man, it's getting close to Christmas. Not quite there yet. We've got a few days, But, hey, Coach, we're going to talk about our top 5 places to visit in America. America's a great country, so there got to be some 5 places we like to go to.
Yeah.
And so I will start off with my number 5 is a place in Florida called Tampa, and I went there about 3 or 4 times, but I didn't go till like the last 4 years. I had to go down there for the military. That's a great city, man. It's just, man, if I didn't go back home to retire, I would have probably moved to Tampa, to be quite honest. And because there's a lot to do there, right there on the bay, and I mean it's a big city to be big enough, but it's not too big to be, too overwhelming.
Exactly.
So and the price of the houses are cheap down there, and you're right there on the water, So that's my number 5. To be
My
quite
number
honest.
5 is simple. I used to go as a kid some, and Linda and I went actually for our honeymoon to Hot Springs.
Oh yes.
We loved Hot Springs, and we need to go back. Of course, with this ridiculous pandemic, we can't. But we loved it there. I mean, the atmosphere there was great. The food was great. The coffee shops were great. The springs, now they have them running them into the breweries.
Yeah.
And, man, it's great. They have a racetrack there. Beautiful lake there. It's a good place to go. And it's for us. It's what, 4 hours maybe?
Yeah, this is down the road.
Yeah, so it's not too bad.
Wow.
Long weekend.
Yeah, I like that. We might have to do that after we get out of COVID jail from everything.
We'd like to go for a long weekend this weekend the other way, about 4.5 hours.
Yes, we are. We're going to go to a place called Fredericksburg. Going to have fun.
All I'm going to say is food.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So my number 4 is St. Augustine. I got to go there. It's the oldest town in America.
Yeah.
And I got to go there right before going to my second time back down to Iraq. And I was just blown away that there's just so much to do there. It's got a lot of culture, and I like towns in America that have culture, and it has its hint of European style on it with open air restaurants and things like that out there. It's just a great city. So that's my number 4, Coach.
All right, number 4 for me is San Antonio, Texas.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you right now, the reason I say San Antonio, Texas is one word: food. No matter what, they have some of the best Mexican food. They have some of the best desserts. They have some of the best everything. And they also have a place called Lulu's, if you haven't been. It was featured on Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. It has a 5-pound cinnamon roll that they bring out to your table and put it on the middle and let everybody eat off of it, and then they wrap it up for you to take it with you. But San Antonio is the atmosphere, the Riverwalk, I think it's La Contessa, it's a outdoor shopping center now. The mall with the big boot in front of it. There's just so many things to do. It's like every time you go, because it's so close, it's only for 2 or 3 days, and you're like, you didn't see much. But San Antonio is a good day trip away for us here in our area. But love San Antonio and the food.
Well, Coach, my number 3 happens to be San Antonio.
Bam.
I mean, I've been there at least 20 times, and like you said, the Riverwalk is so. You can go on the Riverwalk and just you and a date, and you can go there and eat, and you can eat at one table, and they'll play music right next to you, and you can pay $25, or you can go to the other restaurant and pay $300, whatever, but you find it all on the Riverwalk, and it's all right next to each other, and and you can just hear music and go get on the boat and ride
Or you
around.
can go over to what's the place called? The Irish, is it Patio O'Brien, something like that, where they sing and they're loud and they have the piano.
They got a piano bar there, Pat O'Brien's.
Pat O'Brien, there it is.
Yeah, they got one of those I'll talk about that place here in a minute.
Wow.
And that's cool. But you also have a place called Breckenridge Park, which is completely free. And for those that don't know about it, for you Americans that don't understand real history, we get in here this little thing called Texas history because we was our own country. That's where they dug out the limestone to make the capital of the great nation of Texas down there in Austin. And so they made it and turned it into the Japanese Sunken Gardens. And there's between the Riverwalk and the Japanese Sunken Gardens, I assure you that there's more weddings held at those 2 places right there than probably anywhere else in the 100-mile radius. I can promise you that.
And another thing, don't ever forget, if you're going to visit and you like history, especially Texas history, they got the missions there you can go visit, which I've done before, and it's great history in that. Of course, you got the Alamo.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the Alamo. So
you got the John Wayne Alamo out there in the country.
Yeah. I just love it because, like St. Augustine, it has that European appeal to it. That is outdoor restaurants, it's open air. It's very much like Europe. So that's my number 3, Coach.
Well, my number 2 is going to be Florida beaches. I just love being in the beach. Linda and I love the beach, but we went to the Alabama-Florida line pretty much and the last time we went. But Florida beaches, to me, it's like that's the getaway. If you want to, you just work all year, you go to the beach, get your condo, and you eat there. And then one day, one time a day, you might go to a restaurant, but you just spend so much time just kind of decompressing the life you have. But the Florida beaches are beautiful for a place here. Now, if we're going to fly somewhere, it's totally different, but Florida beaches for me. Any of them, pick one.
Number 2 for me happens to be the town of New Orleans. We went there one day and shipped out on a cruise, and we stayed there a couple nights before, and I was like, oh my God. Now, we've been down there about 9 times, and the last time we went, we said we're New Orleans out, but New Orleans is a great place. When you go to the French Quarter, I mean, the food is phenomenal. There's a place down there that my aunt referred me to, which is Cafe du Monde. You cannot go to New Orleans without going to Cafe du Monde. They're open 24 hours a day. And go get you some beignets. Oh my God. I mean, after I get done, I look like somebody who snorted cocaine the wrong way because it's all over my face, And then they have a piano bar down there that I got more hurricanes from that piano bar than you ever imagine. I'm not a big drinker, but I got them given to me for. That's my number 2, and I just love New Orleans. It's just so much culture there.
Yeah, my number 2, New York City. I've only been twice, but I'm telling you, for the rest of my life, I want to go to New York City as many times as I can because every time I'm there, I just fall in love with it more. Not so much that I'm a city guy. I'm actually grew up in the country and still live in the country. I'm going to live outside in the country right now. But being there when you come up from an escalator from the subway and there's just these lights and there's people and there's this history. It's just, to me, it's a great place to be, to shop, to walk around. I mean, I got up one morning when I took the girls last year and just went and walked Central Park, and and looking around in buildings that are taller than anything we ever see around here.
Yes.
And next thing you know, you're on Fifth Avenue, these places you've heard, Madison Avenue, and you're going to these great. Now, there are some weird statues just in the middle of malls. I'm not going to talk about those because blew me away. But the 9/11 Memorial, if you ever want to go to New York City, you got to make sure that's one of the things that you need to do. And I took the girls last year, and it was a somber moment, but it was one of those things where it's like a pilgrimage. You have to get there.
Yep, I want to go there.
Yeah.
When I went to New York City, it was like in 89. So the Statue of Liberty was. You can see behind the Statue of Liberty, the 2 Twin Towers.
We got away from that and saw it, but I forgot to say, if you go, you got to go to Chinatown. Mm-hmm. The Chinatown experience was crazy because you can't walk down the street without people converging on you. Go, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a bag? Yes. Are you looking for a purse? Are you looking for this? And they'll run down and below like in the basements and come out with bags and go, was this one? Would this work? And you're like, oh my gosh, it's the craziest thing ever.
That's
great
cool.
City.
That's cool. My number 1 place, and my wife calls it God's country. And that's Yellowstone. Yellowstone, that surrounding area, Montana up there, Wyoming or Idaho. It's just gorgeous. It's a place that if you said, hey, Ian, you need to take a trip, go somewhere in America, we're going to Yellowstone. I want to take my granddaughter there. I want to spend a month there. And it's one of those places that you can't see everything in a couple days, and it's just it's worth it. And it's just peaceful. It's a lot of fun, and you want to see some animals in their natural habitat. I mean, you sit there in 2-3 hour traffic jams, and you find out that all of a sudden you see all these bison walking by you, because the bisons rule the roads. So hey, they don't get out of the way.
Yeah.
But Yellowstone, hands down, number 1. Love
Number 1
it.
Yellowstone. Mine's totally opposite. I'm going way over to, as a history teacher, and love our history, Washington, D.C.
Washington, D.C. is a great place.
I can visual it right now. I used to take the metro from New Carrollton in Maryland, where my sister used to live, very close to that in Bowie, Maryland. And you come up these huge escalators from the metro, and right there is the Library of Congress. And for me, it was, and right around the corner is the Starbucks you'd hit first. And then you go out of Library of Congress, and then you could go to the Supreme Court, the Capitol.
Yep.
You just take that walk around the mall, as they call it, the National Mall, and you can see the Smithsonian's and the Jefferson Memorial. And it's like, one time I think I went 5 or 6 days by myself.
Oh, goodness.
And it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And you could go for a month and it wouldn't be enough. But Washington, D.C. to me it's the Mecca
Yep.
for a history or a government person. And you have to think about it. You're only just a few minutes away from Virginia to Alexandria, which Newtown, Alexandria, Virginia is one of the most beautiful places to walk and shop, going down towards, I think it's the Potomac. And then on the other side, you got Maryland right there. I mean,
Yep.
you got all the history of Baltimore. All the history of this beginning of this country was within 30 minutes.
So in Washington, D.C., I did the Jenny moment.
Oh, you know you did not.
I did. It's on the, as my mother-in-law, the Facebook. It's on the Facebook a couple years ago, but we were there. We did it at night, and I did the Jenny moment. And now they got a sign out there that says you ain't allowed to step in the pool. They didn't have that sign there till I could tell you that. But anyway, yeah, I did that. But I agree with you, Coach. Washington, D.C., I go there, at least if I go there for 3 days, I have fun. After that, I kind of get bored out of it.
Yeah,
but there's so much free stuff. I mean, the museums, majority of the museums are free.
Well,
So you can see so much stuff there. It doesn't cost you hardly anything. The only thing it costs you is to stay.
Exactly, and that's ridiculous, and that's why my sister and I lived in Bowie, and they would come into the city or whatever, but the hotel differences is humongous. The price just being 20 miles out and that.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I had planned on doing if I wouldn't have met my wife Linda was I wanted to move and teach at DC, and I actually applied at DC schools there, and they wanted to hire me. But I couldn't talk my daughter into moving up there.
Wow.
Because I have custody of her. And so I was like, okay, I'll stay here. And then a couple weeks later, met Linda. So
Wow.
glad I didn't move to D.C.
Yeah,
but
you
I want to go visit
you'd been
again.
lost.
I got to
sure.
get on the plane.
Yeah.
She needs Xanax and some liquor or something. I don't know.
And I've ran many a times that Potomac route. That's
Man.
I forgot the name of what it's actually called, but there's one that runs right by Ronald Reagan, and there's the other one you go the other way, but it's anyway, I can't
Flying
remember.
into Reagan is one of the most beautiful things
Yes.
that you see, because you come in, you actually take the Potomac in.
Yep.
And you can see everything. And the first time I came in, I went into BMI in Baltimore. But the second time that I flew in that route, and now I will always fly. The times I've gone, I always go into Reagan, just so I can just see that route.
Yeah, and right on the western side of the river, I mean, like you said, you're in Virginia, but Mount Vernon's just down the road. It's
everything.
gorgeous scenery there, and it's just a lot to do, and there's so much history in there. And yes, so Coach, I think this is a quick, good segment here. What do you think?
I like this. Yeah, America's got a lot of great places. We
Yes.
couldn't even. And what's great about it is you could ask 10 people, and there would be totally different lists. So I'd like to see or hear some of the lists of some other people tell me their favorite place. Linda and I are all the way up for a trip. So.
Heck yeah, I think that'd be cool to go see and go do.
Oh, yeah.
So hey, from the coach,
To the vet.
hey, have a Merry Christmas and stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned.